All authority is another way of saying all power. He decides. He has the last word. We can trust in him to be with us and to bless us as we do his will. Go therefore, because he has all authority, go therefore and make disciples of all the nations. And how is it we make disciples? We preach the gospel, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and then teaching them. It doesn't end at baptism. It actually begins an important phase of our spiritual walk after baptism, when we're taught to observe all the things that he has commanded us. And he is with us always, even to the end of the age. So we have that comfort to know Jesus will help us. If we're in a situation and we feel the need, we know there's a need to say a good word for Jesus, say a little silent prayer to yourself. God, help me to choose the right word and say it in a spirit of love and concern for this person. And you'll see that God will bless that prayer, because that prayer is his will. If you'd like to know more details about the work, we have a site on the web that has all of our reports, www.redeemingrecife.org. And you can go there and actually sign up if you want to receive these reports sent by email when a new one is written. So that's an opportunity we have to keep people informed, because we come to the States so rarely that we have to depend upon these reports to let the brethren know what's going on and make prayer requests, because we do need your prayers for this work to be blessed. How can you help? Prayers, I've just talked about. That's how things get done. That's where the power comes from, the authority Jesus has been given. The congregation has faithfully supported me for nearly 2 decades, about half the time I've been in Brazil in this mission work, and making mission trips, visiting us. We love to have visitors. We've had a few visitors from this congregation come down over the years, and we've been edified, encouraged by their visits, and we hope that they have been as well. We believe they have been as well, and it's something to do. You can, if you think, well, I don't know about just going to visit, then that's great. We'd love you to come and teach Let's Start Talking type English class. You don't need to be an English professor to teach these classes. You read simple English to the student from the Bible. Many times one of the Gospels, like the book of Luke. I'm losing my second voice here. I'll start screaming until I run out of that voice. Can you hear me if I talk like that? Okay. God's will be done. Jesus on the Sermon on the Mount talked to a multitude without the use of microphones, right? So it can be done. But we'd love to have you come and visit if you can, and I think you'd be edified. God will use you for a good thing. Okay, so can you hear me back there? Okay, so we have help to the rescue. Is it working again? Okay. Okay, you got another microphone here. Thank you, brother. We'd be in a bad way if we didn't have good brothers and sisters serving the Lord in a variety of ministries. The church is a body and has many functions and needs every one of them. They're all important. I'd like to open it up for questions. If someone has a question they'd like to ask, I'd be willing to do that. I have a few minutes, or I can go into more detail. So your opportunity is now to ask a question if you have one. And while you're thinking of that, if my wife would like to mention something that I haven't mentioned, I could expound upon that a little bit. and she is drawing a blank. My brother Tim Pruitt, okay. Tim brought up an interesting point I didn't mention is one of the reasons it's important to have congregations in each suburb, in each separate community is because Brazilians don't have as many personal cars, personal transportation like we do here in the States. You know, here in the States, we depend upon cars to get around. It's almost the only way we can get around in most situations. But in Brazil, especially larger cities like Recife, they have a really good public transportation system, buses, trains, and so people depend upon that to get away, but it can be time-consuming. When we only had the one congregation downtown, some people would take 2 hours or more catching 2 or 3 buses and a train to get to church and 2 or 3 hours to get back. So that's a hardship. And so now that they have a congregation in their community, they can get to church easier and invite their friends and neighbors to church easier. Because if you got to invite your friend or neighbor, hey, let's travel a couple hours to church, unless they've got a need, they're going to find out an excuse not to go. But yeah, so God has blessed us, you know, so that now we have about 24 congregations in the downtown area, and another 24 congregations in the upstate or interior of the state, or outback if you're from Australia. And then in the other rest of Northeast, there's dozens of new congregations. They've all grown up as daughter and granddaughter congregations of the downtown Jerusalem-type church that was started in 1980. This brother's got a question.